You all know the Bible is made of testaments old and new. You've been told it's just those two parts, or only one if you're a Jew. But what if I were to tell you there's a fresh third part out there, which was found by a hip new prophet who had a little Donny Osmond flair?
The Book of Mormon is a sacred text of the Mormon faith.
Have you heard of the All-American Prophet?
But in the hands of South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone, it's inspired a hit Broadway musical.
Holy men, no
Parker and Stone's Book of Mormon is an irreverent and profane religious satire, following the exploits of two young Mormon missionaries sent to Africa. Like the rest of their work, from South Park through to Team America, nothing is off limits, and nobody is safe from ridicule.
America, fuck yeah! So lick my butt and suck on my butt.
I am afraid minors cannot go onto the casino floor.
I'm not a minor, dumbass. You see a shovel in my hand?
We're very, very skilled at gratuitousness. Like, we
get it.
are the experts.
Have you heard of
And now the Book of Mormon has opened in London's West End.
a brand new book about Jesus?
So what drives this relentlessly creative and provocative duo across TV, film, and now the stage? And how did they end up making a Broadway musical in the first place? Los Angeles, September 2012. And Hollywood stars are out in force for the West Coast opening of the Book of Mormon. The show's creators, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, are the toast of a town whose famous residents they've spent years poking fun at.
What is it, sweetie? Ben Affleck is naked in my bed.
I'm the voice of a generation. What are you? Jesus, oh how I love you, Jesus.
Dude, this guy is freaking daffy.
Hello. My
Religion
name
has
is
always been another favourite target, but a stage musical about Mormons, where did that idea come from?
Hello. My name is Elder Young. Hello. Did you know that Jesus lived here in the USA?
We grew up in Colorado, so we've been talking about Mormons for like years because we grew up near Mormons, and knew Mormons. When we first came up with this idea of the Mormon missionaries, and they go to the worst place on earth, you know, that stand for whatever that place is, that cursed place you read about in the news where these people just can't get a break between famine and war and poverty. Here's these two little white kids who grew up in a really nice suburban neighborhood, and here, you know, drop them in here, what happens?
We've had no rain in several days. Hasadiga Ibowai. And 80% of us have AIDS. Hasadiga Ibowai.
In this scene, the missionaries, elders Price and Cunningham, discover that the African song has a blasphemous English translation.
If you'd Heavenly Father, holy moly, I said it like 13 times!
What made you decide we're going to do this as a musical, we're going to do a Broadway show?
We just decided, let's do a musical. We didn't even really know at first we were going to do it as a Broadway thing. We thought, just like anything, you know, we never start anything and do it and go, let's do this, and then we'll do that, and then we'll do this, and we'll do that. We never, it's like, oh, let's do this is funny, okay, wonder what this will be. You know, and you just start going. And we would just try to get a song done. Let's just try to do a funny song, let's try to get a funny album. And then with the album, we could start to think what the show would be. And I think that was really smart because we started off with a collection of songs that told a story. You know, the show revolves around the songs, and that's what makes a good musical.
This was the time for me to step up. So then why was I so scared? A warlord who shoots people in the face. What's so scary about that?
You feel that Mormons enjoy singing and should sing.
I mean, I don't know why they didn't think of it first. The thing, I mean, Mormons just plug right into a musical so perfectly. I don't know why
They always look like they're just about to break out into some cheesy song.
Yeah.
So all we did was write those cheesy songs for them.
I believe that the Lord God created the universe. I believe that he sent his only son to die for my sins. And I believe that ancient Jews built boats and sailed to America. I am a Mormon, and a Mormon just believes.
Mormonism is a religion born in America, founded by one Joseph Smith in the early 19th century. The faith's intriguing origin story was first spoofed by Matt and Trey in South Park.
I was asking God if I should be a Protestant or a Catholic or what, and suddenly God and Jesus appeared before me. And they said I should start my own church because none of the others had it right. And that's exactly how it happened.
You see? You believe it now?
Well, yeah, sure. Why would he make that up?
Joseph Smith was in a time when there were all these kind of different religions. Everyone was here in the New World, and they were kind of still reading about everything that had happened in the Old World. And he wanted to say, well, we're in this whole new continent, this whole new place. Let's bring it here.
I am Moroni. I am a Native American.
A Native American? But your skin is white.
Yes, long ago all Native Americans were white. We all came to America from Jerusalem, and while we were here, we were visited by Christ.
Jesus lived here in America?
Actually, before the Book of Mormon, we'd say, well, here's what Mormons believe. And they're like, no. And we're like, yeah, this is their story. This is America. It's right next door, you know, these are your neighbors.
I believe.
There is something about the Mormons which is what one imagines about the sort of the benign side of Americans. Benign, but also naive, because we all do think that a lot of Americans
super naive, super cheesy, and totally, with a total heart full of gold, wants to knock on your door in another country and tell you about how to live your life.
Young missionaries spread the Mormon message all over the globe, and the faith now claims over 14 million followers worldwide. But many of them work here in the US. I've come to San Diego to meet up with two elders as they make their rounds.
I know the Book of Mormon's true, and that's why we're here, just to share it with everyone.
Tell me then, why do you go around in pairs? Is that something you're obliged to do?
Yeah, as we're out here for these 2 years, we basically go with another person. We work together, and we're on the same team to help other people out.
And the other thing I want to know about is, you're young guys, aren't you? You're in your 20s, I take it.
Yep.
So what do you feel about being called elders?
We get a lot of smiles when they look at us and say elders. We are pretty young. But we explain it's just a title that just signifies that we're missionaries of Jesus Christ.
So what are we going to do now?
So we'll go talk and knock on some doors and go talk to some people over in the park.
Okay, well, let's go. I'll watch you from afar.
How are you doing? How are you doing today? What's your name?
Carol.
Carol, great to meet you. So, have a great day. You have a great day, okay, man? All right, bye-bye. Awesome. Oh, back some.
So, how was that?
It was good. Real friendly lady. Yeah.
But,
oh, she said she was Catholic right now.
It's not proving the most fruitful of days.
Alan, we better give at least one of them to you, right?
That's very good of you. Thank you so much. Goodbye, Elder Dillon. Goodbye, Elder Hill.
Goodbye, Alan. Thank you.
And good luck.
Meanwhile, the Mormon Church has adopted a somewhat entrepreneurial approach to the musical's popularity.
This is the program for the LA production of the Book of Mormon, and it really is quite amazing because as you open it up, you see these huge full-page ads for the Book of Mormon, not the Book of Mormon, the play and the production, the Book of Mormon, the source of all Mormon faith. I've read the book, he says, smiling. The book is always better. And then over the page, you've seen the play, with a great big grin on his face, now read the book. Were you surprised when when the Mormons advertised the Book of Mormon?
No, we weren't surprised at all.
You weren't surprised at all?
And that's what, you know, when people were saying at the beginning, like, oh, you better, there's going to be a big backlash from this. We're like, no, like, we know Mormons. We grew up with Mormons. And their MO is to beat you by being kinder than you and higher than you and being like, okay, I don't agree with what you're doing, but I agree with your ability to do it.
The church's position on our Book of Mormon is exactly the way I would want a church to react to a major piece of pop culture criticism. They just go, you know what, we got a First Amendment, and they're just free to do that.
And the winner is the Book of Mormon!
Parker and Stone's Book of Mormon has been a sweeping critical and commercial success in the US, racking up 9 Tony Awards.
He couldn't be here tonight, but you did it, Joseph. You got the Tony.
In many ways, it should come as no surprise. Music has always been a vital ingredient in their infamous South Park cartoon.
Suck on my chocolate salty balls. Put 'em in your mouth.
We need to form a full assault.
I've come to visit them in their LA studios as they make the final episode in the 16th season of the South Park show.
The Chinese got Cartman to fix the election so they could take Star Wars from Disney.
No! These don't belong to you. They belong to the people.
Each 22-minute program is created from scratch in just 6 days.
That's it, so one take.
It's easy when the writing, directing, and acting all comes from the same place. You know, it's not like, try it this way.
What did Cartman tell you?
They start work on Thursday and go to air the following Wednesday.
Thank you. Thank you all for your votes of confidence.
I think you should be looking at camera for that.
It's all right. It's parody.
Yeah, both of them should just be looking at camera then.
It's awesome to me, though, that you do South Park in 6 days. It kind of amazes me.
It honestly is just a thing where there is no time for writer's block. And so you have to, you know, the only time you get hung up in doing something is you kind of lose faith in it. And especially in comedy, you can sit there in the room and really laugh about something, and the next day it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of funny, but is it really that funny? And you can start, and then all of a sudden, it's not funny at all.
It's a little bit like a live show. There's no time for second guessing, and it generally isn't overcooked. Sometimes it's not even really cooked. Yeah, it's a little bit raw, a little bit undercooked, but it's not overcooked.
Dude, it's called deodorant, okay? It's not expensive.
Did you take attendance, Mr. Slave?
All dunsy onesie.
I'll kick you in the nuts, Kenny.
Hey! Looking for a Hummer today?
Matt and Trey first met as students in their home state of Colorado.
Did you always make each other laugh, or is this just purely business?
Oh yeah, no, there was no business. We weren't making money at it.
We weren't making money for the longest time. We met at film school, and we were just the only two guys that were into comedy. I mean, honestly, just bluntly, like no one else was even thinking that. They were all thinking about being Roman Polanski or like Martin Scorsese, and we bonded over Python skits.
I remember watching Python being like 7, 8 years old and seeing Python and thinking they were talking like that to be funny. Like that accent was actually just a funny talk.
We like dressing up, yes.
And the aesthetic was just so cheap and shitty that you thought, we could go shoot something like that. And, you know, we could, and you can. I mean,
Hold on.
Yeah. No, but the look of it, you could just tell these were some guys running outside and shooting something. And it was like, oh, we can do that. You know, we could do that.
That's all we're asking for. That's all we're asking for. We're tired of being sick. We're sick of being poor. We've had a little luck, now we want a little more.
Their first major production was in fact a film musical called Cannibal. Both men had starring roles, with Trey also writing and directing.
Cannibal was the first thing we said, let's do something that length, that has, you know, a full-on beginning, middle, end.
It's funny because we did that when we were 19, 20, 21 years old.
Yeah, that's good, though, actually. Put it at 20. Put it at 20.
Looking back, it's just like ridiculous.
Well, I think there was a thing too. I think in the back of our minds we're like, well, it's not like we're actually going to do it. You know what I mean? I think it was just always this thing of like, oh, that'd be cool. We should do that, you know. And then all of a sudden we were kind of doing it.
We were kind of just like halfway through it. Yeah,
this is happening.
I guess we're doing it.
Let's build a snowman.
Cannibal got them noticed, but it was something else they developed as students that well and truly launched their careers.
Don't you oppress me, fat boy. Don't call me fat, buttfucker.
The Spirit of Christmas was an animated short that saw 4 crude young boys caught up in a fistfight between Jesus and Santa.
Go, Santa! Go, Jesus!
It was basically like, oh, let's cut out stuff and we had the camera overhead and shooting it like this. You know, it was all construction paper and scissors and glue. And we actually got an animation book. I remember the exact book. We just got this animation saying, here's the shape of a mouth during certain consonants and vowels. And we copied those down and cut them out.
God damn it, that is a big fat fuck!
And then recorded our voices and went through and counted frame by frame where the vowel or consonant was and put those mouths on the thing. We're like, oh, look, it kind of works. And we started making these things with these little kids that became Stan and Cartman and Kenny.
We wish you a Merry
The cartoon became an early viral hit, and they were asked to make a pilot show for the fledgling Comedy Central network. Eric Stow has been with Matt and Trey since the very beginning.
So what's in here, Eric?
So in here is the remnants of the pilot, the 22-minute pilot that we did 16 years ago. This is pretty much all of the artwork that we had specifically cut out of construction paper, and we photographed it underneath the camera stand. This is where Cartman got zapped by the aliens, and he started to break into a 1930s or 1940s animated cartoon song.
I know I didn't have an anal probe, and I know that I am not under alien control.
I love to sing about the moon and the June and the spring. I love to sing about a sky of blue or a T42.
We'd put down this, and then we'd take a picture of it, and then we would take this out, and we'd put in a new body, and then maybe we would change a mouth, you know, and then we'd have the character blink. Here's all the chefs. Here's a good example. This is when the bus drove away down the street and went from a big bus all the way down to a small, little, tiny bus. Yeah, I mean, you can even see the detail of the characters. I don't know if your camera can pick it up, but at some point we stopped putting eyeballs on them.
How long did it take you?
About 6 months.
It took you 6 months to make the pilot. Now you do it in 6 days.
And now we do a show in 6 days, yeah.
I'm going down south, I'm gonna have myself a time.
When South Park's first season hit the screens, it wasn't so much the look of the show as the content that grabbed the headlines. Alien anal probes.
Cartman, there's an 80-foot satellite dish sticking out of your ass.
Jesus boxing Satan.
Mr. Hanky?
And a talking festive feces. All made an appearance.
You know, when we came out, we were like, holy shit, lock up your kids. This show is on, and it's the end of all time. You know, and it was basically people coming out saying, this is the end of, you know, democracy as we know it. This is like gonna end everything. And we were just labeled that show.
And we just saw it as fresh, non-trampled snow of like, well, here's a bunch of jokes over here that we should all, other people should be making. Oh, we'll do it, you know.
Hello, everybody.
Blending the puerile with the profound, the main characters of Stan, Kyle, Cartman and Kenny offered a unique way of examining and satirizing adult America.
South Park Elementary presents the happy, non-offensive, non-denominational Christmas play with music and lyrics by New York minimalist composer Philip Glass. As I turn and look into the sun, the rays burn my eyes.
Happy, happy, happy. Everybody
How like
happy.
a turtle the sun looks.
What the hell is this?
Do you want to make people laugh? Do you want to make people think? Do you want to make people angry?
We never
Not angry.
Yeah, we've never once gone into that writer's room and sat down and said, okay, what can piss people off this week? You know, but of course, part of being funny and is to take any kind of issue and then just take the other side of it. Being this kind of punk, fuck you kind of show, you know, when we were at the height of it and we were under, you know, Bush for so long, the punk thing here wasn't to, you know, you don't go to a party and be like, man, screw Bush, man, and people are like, that's not punk, you know. We go there and go, oh, Bush is just amazing. He's doing the best job. I love that guy. People are like, what? You know, and it's like that gets the reaction, that gets the thing. You know what I mean? And it's just like to us, you know, it was the one-sidedness of it all that was like made us fall in love with doing shows where, you know, we'd say the opposite.
Oh, and by the way, children, there's a walkout scheduled today to protest the war in Iraq. So if you're against the war, run along outside, and if you're for the war, stay here and we'll do math problems.
This contrary political posturing has been hijacked in the past. The term South Park conservative was coined and embraced by Republicans. But in reality, Matt and Trey have always ridiculed the right and left with equal vigor.
Hey, if you don't like America, then you can get it.
Look, nobody wants to hear a bunch of twangy country music pro-war propaganda.
But nobody wants to hear a bunch of rock protest songs.
Up yours, rednecks.
We like it the best when we kind of make a show and then it comes to be almost time for it to air and we're like, oh, you know, we're kind of saying this. You know, that's when it's, I think, to us both the most exciting.
Okay, next, please.
The fast turnaround of the show allows for a unique topicality.
How can I help you, young man?
I got a $100 check from my grandma, and my dad said I need to put it in the bank so it can grow over the years.
Well, that's fantastic. A really smart decision, young man. We can put that check in a money market mutual fund. Then we'll reinvest the earnings into foreign currency accounts with compounding interest, and it's gone.
We don't think our job is to change people's minds. You know, our job is to just throw stuff out there and let people think about, you know, whatever.
Over the years, their treatment of religion has sparked moral outrage, censorship, and veiled death threats. Catholic groups were incensed by the episode Bloody Mary that poked fun at the belief's more far-fetched miracles.
Es un milagro! Es un milagro!
It was that joke of like, how come the piece of blood that's always kind of like the little stain on the wall is right here and not the one that's like right someplace else?
She's beautiful.
How come you don't look at that stain? You know, is it always crying blood, or is there other things that, you know? That was just funny to us.
Jewish jokes are a regular feature, with Cartman insulting Kyle in nearly every episode.
Why do you need me? Because we need a Jew to do the bookkeeping.
I mean, the thing about Kyle is a Jewish kid, but I grew up in Colorado, and my mom is Jewish, so I'm Jewish. But I'm just a white kid. And that's kind of Kyle. That's what's so funny about Cartman's stuff. He's always like, Jew, Kyle's just like Stan. They're just the same kid. You know? It's like, that's the joke, is there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Welcome to Muslim sensitivity training. It is important.
Certain tenets of Islam have also been parodied.
And why we can never show an image of Muhammad.
No, Muslims can't show an image of Muhammad.
Kyle, you're not being very sensitive.
Yeah, Kyle.
But the show's network has censored some episodes for fear of reprisal from extremists.
There's been no fatwa.
Yeah, no, there's a fatwa up, I think. I think it's over. I think it's been lifted.
Yeah, it's been lifted. If anybody is considered, oh, you can't touch that over there, that's immediately makes everything that you've done offensive. That immediately stains everything you've done. It only makes sense to us if everybody's sort of, if everyone's deepest beliefs are kind of on the chopping block.
The frozen alien bodies were loaded onto Xenu's galactic cruisers, which looked like DC-8s, except with rocket engines.
Perhaps the most notorious episode sent up the beliefs of Scientology and played with tabloid rumors about the church's most famous member.
I'm nothing. I'm a failure in the eyes of the prophet. Ah!
Hey! Dude, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
Go away!
Dude, this is my room.
Go away, I said!
Dad! Tom Cruise won't come out of the closet.
I mean, did you struggle because there were libel issues?
That became the fun part of it, too, was, you know, sitting there in the room and being like, okay, the lawyer said we can't do this. And it's like, okay, couldn't we do this? And they're like, maybe. You know, and it's like that just kind of became another part of it.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom, it's John Travolta.
Oh, hey, John.
Tom, you gotta come out of the closet. Oh, my God.
This taste for celeb bashing reached spectacular new heights in their marionette movie, Team America World Police.
My fellow actors, we live in a dark time. The world is becoming more and more violent, and the idiots in charge are making it worse. What the world needs is an international advisory committee who truly understands global politics, namely us.
Why do you do that? Why celebrities? Why are you rude?
Because we are puppets, so we can make celebrities for free.
It's the fun. Yeah, it's like they could star in the. Yeah, we don't have to pay them their rate. We could just like, you know, just make a. There's nothing more fun than making a puppet of somebody important, or a cartoon of somebody important, and setting them on fire, throwing them against a wall, you know, farting on them, dumping shit on them. And I mean, there's some highbrow explanation of why that's really important in culture, but we just like doing that. I mean, I think it's important that people who are held up as idols get shit on.
The film extrovertly critiqued American foreign policy and even musicalized former North Korean dictator Kim Jong-il.
I'm so lonely, so lonely, so lonely inside real Rome. There's no one, just me only, sitting on my little throne.
When I was about 12, I discovered the piano, and I was all about music. All through junior high and high school, I was all about songwriting, was writing funny songs, and I like the joke writing in songs. Yeah, it was funny when we did the the South Park movie. You know, because right away, as soon as I knew we were going to do a movie, I'm like, okay, I want to make it a musical.
You don't have to spend your life addicted to smack, homeless on the streets giving handjobs for crack. Follow my plan and very soon you will sing. It's easy, okay.
And some of the reaction we got when the movie came out was going, hey, I really loved the movie, you know. I saw you had to fill a lot of it in with music.
You don't have to spend your life sitting up in the trash, homeless on the streets giving handjobs for cash. Follow this plan and very soon you will sing. It's easy, okay.
Music's the hardest part, like people don't understand.
I mean, the fact that you're dealing with music and it's in a song,
yeah,
does that give you more license?
Maybe you do get away with more because, you know, you can say something in the middle of a jolly, happy song that's like, ooh, you know, where it's like, and it's like the same reason we can get away with so much what we do with South Park is because we hope and we think it's not a cynical show. It comes off at the end of being a somewhat happy, optimistic show, and so does Book of Mormon. And if it was just, you go in there and there's just negativity and cynicism and no one wants to watch that, especially no one wants to go pay $100 and watch that.
Yeah.
A few months have passed since I visited Matt and Trey in LA, and they're now here in London, rehearsing the West End version of the Book of Mormon.
Tomorrow is a latter day, and I am here for you. Tomorrow is a latter day. Tomorrow is a latter day. Tomorrow is a latter day.
So, the show, how's it going here?
We just saw a run through upstairs, and it looked great. I mean, they still have a few weeks of work left to do, but right now it's in great shape. It really is.
Skies are clearing and the sun's coming up. It's a latter day tomorrow.
A big show like this, there's so much that's just, okay, did the light come up when it was supposed to come up? And was this person in this spot? And, you know, there's so much of that. And then we know the spaces where we can come in and say, work on things that's just the script and the humor and all of that.
Recently, Matt and Trey have also revealed the formation of their very own film studio.
You've got a very modest title. You called it Important Studios.
Yeah. We tried to make it very important, and extremely important, and they're just like, the lawyers were just like, can we just keep it important for now? Because it's just like...
It's sounding a bit arrogant.
We also talked about calling it...
surely not.
United States Entertainment.
We couldn't do that either.
Because I just wanted to say, I'm Trey Parker, I'm Vice President of United States Entertainment.
And then somebody had that.
Someone had it.
Somebody had that. That was crazy.
This show, then, obviously word of mouth has got around and it's kind of nearly sold out. I think it's done brilliantly well.
Yeah, it's selling well.
Are you nervous?
It'll be totally nerve-wracking when we're in the theater and you're in the space, you're physically there.
I know, but if it starts and the audience is full and nobody laughs, that'll make us laugh super hard.
Yeah,
so
and then we'll be bummed the next day, but we'll be laughing when they're not laughing. Nothing's funnier to us than an obvious joke and then no one laughs at it.
Yeah.
Like, that's really funny.
Okay, I'll be there.
Great.
And I will try to laugh, definitely.
Please.
Yeah, if no one else is, even if you're just laughing, that would be
that would be funny too.
It's a latter day tomorrow.